Welcome to an ULTRAKILL Weaponless Speedrun tutorial. In this episode we are going to be covering Lost. So begin on 2-1. 2-1 is one of the shortest levels in all of Weaponless. Personal best at about 16 seconds, but generally what you want to aim for this one is anywhere under 20, 17, 18 for a nice enough score to get to. So to begin this one, quickly, slam store, slide, jump, baby, open it up, dash, dash to get the slam store up there, do a dive, USJ, and down here, do another one, and then slam down, get over here, and that's pretty much that's pretty much how you want to do breach burn. It's mostly just those two dives or USJs at the same time. How to do a USJ? Yeah, I suppose I can go over it very quickly. So, to do USJ, it's a combination of both the slide and the slam button at the same time. And the primary difference being, it's very, very quick concession. It's technically jump and then slide, but you press the button so fast, you might as well be attempting first on your first couple choices to do them at the same time, or close enough at least. And there's two different types of this technique. The more common one is the USJ, where you simply just tap it and you get the effect like here, or where you hold down both buttons after achieving it. You get these slide lines. You get them there. Both are the same speed pretty much. So you can do either one, whichever one is easier for you to do. So there's one more thing I want to point out, and that is the alternate route here. You won't always end up getting a perfect dive that gets all the height and forward momentum. And so I have routed this alternate one back before we had dives. No, that was the mess up. I'll go down, do it again. But you want to pretty much do that and then line up a dash with that there. Now once we get to this point, do a slam stone off this, come up here, and do that. Now if it wasn't for the mess ups, I think that hits sub 30 at least, maybe sub 35. It's been a while since I ran that, but yeah, that is pretty much all of the current strats for Weaponless 2-1. Now we move on to 2-1. 2-1 is tricky and just a lot of things going on all in quick succession, so you get used to it. Not there, we punch to get rid of down there with the baby. Then we go whiplash for the box there and whiplash for the box down here. You can go, there's other methods to make that faster, but that's what I use. Slam storage and another dive from up here, pretty much, and then do slam storage. Skip the rail cannon by going around this belly, then just dive there, not mess it up. Come up here, grab that one, and then grab that one. The whiplash is your best bet for that level there, because you know hitting the boxes from far away without having to head towards them and use your fist is ideal. Typically, you want to go sub 40. If you can hit sub 40, you're perfect. If you can hit sub 45, you're still grand like that. And knowing I messed up sometimes there as well. If I got this during a full run, I'd keep it and keep going on. But yeah, generally that's typical enough of it. And now we go on to 2-3. 2-3, and this any percent at least, is annoying to say the least. So the slam storage over here, go up here. Make sure not to, when you're jumping off that wall and out to here, not go too far in this direction, because if you go over here, oh, it must have changed. There you go. This far is when I get them to spawn in. So don't go over that direction as I did there. But yeah, you generally want to here, and you want to go to this door here for the out of bounds. This is one of the trickiest ones. So what you want to do, I'll change my settings now just to show it off. Um, so what you want to do is line yourself up. You line yourself up so that you're in line with between this line here and the one this line here. I'm going to be sort of on that sort of square pixel area. Um, yeah, about here-ish now, just so you can see proper. I'll put it back to what I was at. So once you have it lined up generally, you want to try and do these two sides in quick succession. And you get it there. It's very tricky. Don't worry if you don't get that on the first try. It's very hard, and that can randomly just because it never clicks end up stopping run. So don't worry about that. But once you get out of bounds, you want to quickly manage your dashes. You may still be in a slamming state when you get through there, so you want to quickly dash as soon as you get out and come over to this spot here, which will bounce off this wall and then slide jump. You can attempt to dive there if you want to, but note that it might go wrong. I do a slide jump because you get just about enough height so long as you dash at the top of the jump. Then over here, dash, jump down, dash back. Let the tilt come around. And then you parry that. Yeah, so typically you want to. The Mind Flayer is annoying for this one, but if you can hit the parries, you're perfectly grand. Kind of. As soon as he goes red, these dudes will spawn. So they can have no bother. There is an insta kill method for the Mind Flayer. I don't want it because I don't know. I just don't want to rely on it being kind of inconsistent. Um, so I just don't run it. I tend to just gravitate more towards the parries because if you do all generally what I showed off there with focusing on parrying him when you can, parrying them when you can, um, and then while the Mind Flayer is not doing those parryable attacks, go after the other there, um, and then as soon as you take down the Mind Flayer, it should kill at around here. They're standing, so it'll take down the two drones, and with only these two drones left, and ideally you'd whip and punch home run it one into the other. You want to get for this level anywhere under a minute. That out of bounds can be that inconsistent that you, well, not inconsistent, just tricky, and it feels like luck sometimes. But like generally, you want to aim for under a minute. My personal best has recently been sub 40, which was many attempts and just about getting it. A good one is 40 anything. 50 anything is still acceptable. Once you're at a minute something ish, unless everything else has been good so far, I wouldn't. And that's pretty much all 2-3 is. Now, 2-4. This one can be tricky if you haven't practiced it. So I'm going to show off two uh, out of bounds clips to start off with. The first one being the one that's the fastest. So what you want to do is you want to slide and get into the corner there as it goes. So you don't hold anything on the directions. You just look forward, you slide, and I turn my head that way so that as soon as I get out the door, I can dash into the corner. Once you're in the corner, the doors will push you out of bounds this way. Then what I do is I do either off the back wall or the side wall. I typically try for the back wall. Go here. Dude, that was a bad one. That was a bad dive. Ugh. Now I'll show it off again. I've showed the other out of bounds anyways. So that was the first out of bounds where you slide and do it there. But what happens if you miss the door? Well, typically I would just reset the checkpoint and try for it again. But there is an alternative out of bounds that you can do, which is just go to the stand state, and there you go. You're out of bounds now. And voila, you're here again. I typically do the corner one, of course, just because it's a bit faster to execute. So I'll try this again, load it up. There we go. You want to get enough height so that you can set up for over here, where you'll stand down again and bring yourself all the way back over here. And you don't have to line it up perfectly, just get nearby and do it. You should be hitting here at about 20 seconds, just as an estimate. You can then dash over that and wait and do some dash side jumps. Dash, dash, dash. And grab red skull, checkpoint reset. If you reset quickly enough and your width is still all the way over there at the end of the level, just move towards here and it'll auto reset your hand. Then you do this, and while it's waiting to load, you come over here. And now my note. So I'm just going to do this and parry the fist, punch, with punch, with punch, turn, with punch, with punch, with punch, parry, come over here, punch, punch, punch. You may have gotten him to second phase before he managed to do that, fire that punch at that point. Now that he's got the eyes, you want to make sure that you line yourself up so you can actually hit the eye parries, because they are a lot of damage. Oh, that was impressive. I don't usually get that one. And fantastic. That was very risky with the orb as well. I was taking a chance. Yeah, generally what you want to do, as a general tip for this battle, stick towards either side as much as you can. If you're in the middle, he's way more likely to go for either the palm strike or the hammer strike, which while you can parry both of them, as you can see, I find them at least much harder to parry. So I just tend to go for the fist ones, because if you can learn the fists, they're the ones you're going to be next to anyways, having to punch with the red arm in his downtime. Be aware of where the orb is. If you practice your own route enough, you'll be just generally aware of, okay, this works, I just keep to this route and the orb never gets to me. Hitting the blue shots, and the red one for that matter, is key to cutting down chunks of time from the method as well. If you can get all of those and all of the punches, perfect. Parries are just the way to go for this fight, generally. What's the time for this one? 1:30. If you can get 1:30 for this, you're alright, and below that is good. 1:40, you could keep on going. 1:50, nah. You've kind of gone past the point at that stage. And yeah, that is all of Rust. Um, I will hopefully get around to Gluttony much faster than have the others, but I'm showing a track record now. Yeah, what else? Do I have anything else to say? Nothing much generally. As always, if you've any questions or stuff, leave it in the comments. Um, I'm always about in the Discord, so just ask for me, and I'm sure somebody'll at me. And yeah, beyond that, good speedrunning.